We are live.
Oh, okay. I still couldn't tell. Hi,
I
everyone.
know.
Welcome to Facebook Live with Dr. Nelva Bryant. This is Dr. Nelva Bryant, and I am Greta Russo. Dr. Bryant, please introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us again today. It's a great Friday. I'm Dr. Nelva Bryant. I'm a veterinarian and I work in the airline industry. I am on staff with Delta Airlines, and I've been so since around 2018 time frame. You might wonder why would an airline want a veterinarian on staff? And my question is, why haven't other airlines jumped on board and having veterinarians on staff? Because animals are traveling, all types of animals, not just your pets, but animals are being transported by in cabin or by cargo. And there's policies and regulations behind their transportation to ensure animal welfare during transport. And you need a veterinarian to assist with that process. So that's what I've been doing for Delta. And within that time frame, I started noticing there's a need for more education out there for pet owners to better prepare their pets for air travel. So I developed When Pets Fly as a means to share pet-centric travel education and really focus on that pet. Because trust me, getting your pet ready for travel is more than just getting, say, the logistics of saying, oh, I need a health certificate, I need to get a crate and get the ticket and go. It's a whole lot more involved with getting that pet prepared for that trip, either domestically or internationally. And if it's internationally, it's more details too, as far as the certificate that's needed, the international health certificate. So it could take time. So either way, I share that information on my platform, When Pets Fly. Like I said, I've been doing so for the past 5 years. I've got a website, which is www.whenpets.com. I have social media presence on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and also have a YouTube page. And we have a newsletter that goes out quarterly. Our next one is going to be out in December. If you go to the website, you can sign up for it, and we can get you the current copy if need be. And then moving on, you'll get these scheduled ones that come out on a quarterly basis. And we do these Facebook Lives, which have been fabulous. Greta joined me 4 years ago, and this was one of her great ideas to let's have more of a presence out there. Let's, kind of just get more, you can say, a social media presence with giving these Facebook Lives. And that's what we've been doing for the past 4 years. And I think officially now, Greta, it's officially now 4 years, I believe, right? 4 years?
Nope. But on the 20, we're almost days away on the 22nd.
All right, we almost have our 4-year anniversary, but we've been doing these. And the coolest thing about this is that we had the idea initially that we thought we were just going to share information to pet owners, just kind of basic stuff, but we've expanded it to basically kind of share information or share guests that to me touch multiple areas in the animal transportation industry. So I say there's stakeholders in the animal transportation industry. We've had, we've had companies that have private jet companies that transport pets. We had them on here. Gosh, I'm losing thought right now of all the different fabulous people we've had. But we've had a pet shipping company last week. Jet Pets was here. Montana was awesome. So that was great. And moving forward is no different. We have a great guest for you today. But before I do that, Greta, I know I'm talking long. Go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about any current topics in animal transportation. That's your segment. Thanks.
Well, my name's Greta Russo, and I'm very happy to be here. I actually really look forward to doing these and meeting our guests and learning so much as our audience has through the years. I can't believe we're coming on 4 years, but it's been a great journey and it's gone by real fast. And the other thing, besides learning here, I just want to point out that you as pet parents, or you as veterinarians, or even business holders within the pet travel industry, you can actually set up a consultation with Dr. Bryant to help you in any matters possible, especially pet parents who want to talk about creating a custom plan for their cat or dog going to either another state within the U.S. or even another country from the U.S. or from another country to the U.S. And then more importantly, veterinarians, they know their cats and they know how to examine dogs, but they may not know everything that is needed or what the forms are asking them. So please, veterinarians, vet techs, give Dr. Bryant a call, set up an appointment so that you can better serve your clients. But this has been great. We are in more than 20 countries around the world. Can you believe we have so many people tuning in? But it's because we're expanding our guests to being international. So last week we had Jet Pets, I think it is, or Jet Pets from Australia. Today we are having Paws Abroad from Canada. So, it makes perfect sense that we're reaching, so many people around the globe. So I'm so excited to speak with Marisa today and to find out more about her and her journey. But before we get to that, I definitely wanted to point out, not too long ago, we actually were sharing a news report that I think it's Virgin Australia. They were planning to now become pet friendly. So as of yesterday, October 16th, they started their first flights with pets on board. And they are running from Melbourne to the Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast. And those routes are going to run until January, but they did start. So far, ABC News, which is where this post is coming from, they reported that so far the reviews have been mixed, but they're looking forward to finding out what people will say going forward. So right now, if you are in Australia or want to visit different parts, Virgin Australia is running pet-friendly flights from Melbourne to the Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast. And these routes are going until January. And then at that time, they will reevaluate their program and see how it goes. So I'm wishing them all the best of luck. I think no matter where it is in the world, there's going to be people who don't want pets on the flight. Honestly, there's people who don't want babies on the flight. But on the most part, if you have a good program, it should run pretty well. And it is actually an extra source of income for the airline. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's, again, I think it's good. But even though, remember, I keep saying, when you always say pet friendly, realize there's still going to be restrictions beside it, no matter what. Even with them saying pet friendly, allowing them in cabin, it doesn't mean they're going to allow your pet outside of a carrier, or just sitting next to it. It doesn't mean that. There's going to be some restrictions. Then there'll be a restriction on the numbers that are going to be allowed in cabin as well. Because we also, a factor in future that I know the airlines, it's important to all airlines, is the safety of the passengers inside. Imagine, God forbid, an emergency, something happens and you have a bunch of free or, pets sitting out and you're trying to say potentially evacuate or something. That can be a very stressful. It's stressful for people. I'm sure, thank God I've never been through anything like that, but it's stressful for people. And I'm sure it'd be extremely stressful for animals if they're sitting out and not under control in a carrier and trying to get them off the plane and stuff. So there's a lot of features that it sounds good, and it does sound good, but I'm sure there's logistic things that we don't even think about that the airline has to consider. So I would say, just be mindful of it. It's more than just, yes, it would be nice, and yes, it's pet friendly, but just realize that there's a lot of logistics behind it that the airline has to consider in these processes too.
Yeah. Well, I will point out that for Virgin Australia, they do require that the cat or dog, so it's only cat and dog right now, is kept within the container through the whole flight. And also, they have a row that is just for pets. So
Do
it's
that.
so they're all in one area.
Right.
And I think that makes it kind of nice. So at least you're sitting next to someone that likes cats or dogs.
Right.
So that I'm just hoping it works out for them, because I think it just would be nice to have, additional services being offered for this.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, someone who's no stranger to flying with their pets, we're going to bring Marisa in here, and get to talking to her about her company. Hi, Marisa.
Hi, thank you both for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm going to read your bio real quick, and then we're going to go right into it. Okay.
Awesome.
So Marisa Hoskins is a two-time founder in the pet industry and the CEO of Paws Abroad, a digital platform and growing community helping pet parents travel internationally with confidence. After founding and scaling Puppy Gang Fresh Foods, Canada's most nutritious fresh dog food brand, Marisa sold the company and set out to solve another challenge close to her heart, making global pet travel simpler and more accessible. Inspired by two rescue dogs, Harley and Kalinda, who have joined her on international moves from Hong Kong to Canada to Thailand, she experienced firsthand how fragmented and stressful pet relocation can be. That led her and her brother, a software engineer, to create Paws Abroad, a comprehensive travel planner and community hub that helps pet parents manage the logistics of moving pets across borders. The platform brings together up-to-date import-export regulations, airline policies, cost breakdowns, vaccination timelines, and transit information all in one place. Beyond the technology, Paws Abroad is building a global community for people who want to explore the world with their pets and connect with others doing the same. Everyone, please help me welcome Marisa and Paws Abroad.
I know. There's a story behind that, Marisa. When this started, I have a little portable little thingy here that's terrible. Started with something like this, and then I went out and bought this system that was supposed to connect and do it.
Yeah.
I can't figure out how to use it. I mean, see, you're great. You got a brother in IT that probably explains all that. I can't figure anything out. So then I mailed it to Greta, and Greta couldn't figure it out either. So luckily, she's found a system, so we now have a way to apply. So that's why we giggle every time it happens, because we know the history behind it.
I love it. So cute. That's so funny. Yeah.
We're just regular people. We're not techie at all, tech savvy. We're just winging it and having a good old time with it, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, that's good. Well, I'm lucky that I've got my brother sends me memes all the time with the CEO versus the CTO, the technical co-founder. So I'm lucky to have a techie in my corner for sure.
Yes. We need assistance on that from time to time.
Yes, no worries. Got you covered.
Glad to have you join us, and I was very excited to learn about you and what you're doing. Really, honestly, Greta, I don't want to take your sauce, but explain, Marisa, how you decided with this concept and this idea, because again, this pet travel space, it is an area that's wide open for pet owners that really don't know and understand what to do to travel with their pets, and going internationally makes it even tougher. So explain.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so the backstory, my life changed for the better over 8 years ago when I adopted my two rescues when I was living in Hong Kong at the time. As you know, Greta mentioned in my bio, so I scaled and sold a nutritious pet food company, and that started after healing my dog's health through Whole Foods. So to go back a little bit, I adopted these 2 dogs, and one of them was a breeder dog at a puppy mill and had all these health problems. I made it my mission to heal her health. In this process of trying to heal her health, moved back to Canada with them. And that was my first foray into international pet travel. So this was back in 2018. And, I didn't even consider doing it myself because I was like, it was so stressful, the thought of something going wrong. I was terrified of like, oh my God, what's going to happen with my dogs traveling. And I paid thousands of dollars, and it was a horrible process. Like, I felt it was very impersonal. I felt really left in the dark with information, and everything in the end, like my dogs got there smoothly, but it was like an incredibly stressful process. And I, at the time, in all honesty, I vowed I'm actually never going to do this again. and then now we're, 4 moves later, it's different. And then, so after this, I found a holistic vet in Canada, finally healed my dog's health, got into the Whole Food space. And after seeing her amazing transformation, through Whole Foods. She's now 14. She's still alive and healthy. I started my first company, which was Puppy Gang Fresh Foods, which is a direct-to-consumer human-grade dog food company. We did really well. We got acquired in 2022. I was working for the company that acquired us for 2 years. And I was daydreaming about moving abroad again, but I kept thinking, oh my gosh, it was so stressful traveling with the dogs. I can't do this. I was dreaming of beach life, and moving back to Asia was calling my name. I just wanted to go back to Thailand and live by the beach. And I thought, you know what? That was 7 years ago. I'm sure pet travel has improved. And newsflash, it had not. It was still just as stressful and fragmented. And the backstory was I reached out to a company that I knew in Canada, and trying to didn't consider to do this on my own because I was like, oh my God, it's just so stressful. I want to trust an expert. And I had lived in Asia for years. I obviously did my own research and stuff. And the person unfortunately gave me the wrong information. This was the preliminary call. I got a quote that was really, to my way of thinking, exorbitantly overpriced. And that's when I realized, oh my God, this industry is such a mess, and there's no centralized platform for access to information for pet parents. And then digging into this deeper, I also spoke to vets, and then I was shocked to find out that, my vet was relying on me to say, okay, I'm going to Thailand, and they needed to trust me to know exactly which requirements I needed. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's got to be a better way. And fortunately, as you both mentioned, so my brother's a software engineer, because typically pet parents were, if you're trying to, unless you're spending thousands of dollars on a relocation company, you're having to pour through different government websites, Facebook groups, trying to piecemeal your travel plan together. And on top of that, regulations are constantly evolving and changing. They vary from country to country and airline to airline. There are things like heat embargoes or temperature and winter, cold embargoes that people are unaware of as well, that can impact your travel plans. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's no centralized platform for this information. So that's what Paws Abroad set out to be, is that first global platform with up-to-date import-export regulations and guidelines to help make your pet travel accessible and less stressful for pet parents, because it's such a daunting emotional thing. I've talked to multiple people who've been relocating, and the thought of something going wrong with your pets is a huge fear for people traveling internationally. So how our platform works is we're currently live in 14 countries, soon to be global, but we currently serve cats and dogs. We are getting requests for, especially bunnies has actually been a popular one, interestingly. But we basically, how it works is you set up your Pawsport, so your pet passport, on our website, and you create a customized travel plan for your pet. So it allows you to enter your pet's information. Are they a service dog or an emotional support animal? What breed is your dog? Because certain airlines have breed restrictions. What size are they? Et cetera, et cetera. And where you're traveling to and from. And then our platform uses proprietary technology to create up-to-date travel plans for your pet en route. That includes everything now from basically vacation timelines, all of your vaccinations that you need, with the timing of your health certificate, any detailed airline policies, what airlines fly to your given route, detailed costing breakdowns, basically everything that you need to travel with your pet. And because this is still a stressful process, and we're rolling out really cool community features. So soon we're building out a network of trusted resources in different areas around the world, and the ability to connect with other users soon. But on top of that, we also do offer personalized support, things like document checks, guided support to help you through this process with the planning and coordination, because even with like our travel planner, which is amazing with like the access to information, people do sometimes still want personalized support. So we also do offer that like concierge style services as well.
That's really awesome that you're doing that. And as you said, there's a big need, honestly, to just share this information for pet owners to understand and know. And honestly, that's really the reason why I started doing what I'm doing as well. You did it personally because you personally felt it. I did it from the perspective of being a veterinarian and being inside the airline industry and seeing some of the errors that's made with that. So that's why I started what I did with Pets Fly as well. So, but yeah, there's a huge need behind all of this, and the ultimate goal for you, on your platform, and definitely on mine too, is that to better educate pet owners so they can really prepare their pets and realize it is stressful, it is complicated. Be aware though, I don't know if you connected within there are resources out there. You said you had some folks that give you guidance. Have you heard of the International Pet and Animal Transportation Association, IPATA? Or
yes.
Because they're supposed to be, if you have found an IPATA shipper, and an example of one that last week, Jet Pets, they're an IPATA shipper. They actually they kind of do all the same, they know of and kind of set things up properly because they know the airline policies as far as the different temperatures and all those different things that go along with the airline policies and their requirements. They also know the airlines that specifically go to certain locations too. So it sounds like what you're doing is your platform is setting up for the pet owner to kind of do it without a pet shipper in a sense.
Yeah. And we will have opportunities for IPATA because our technology is really unique. There's no one quite doing what we're doing from a technology standpoint, that we're pulling in all of the up-to-date import-export regulations. So even if other organizations are, know where to go to find it, there was no kind of centralized database prior to what we were building. So we actually think our technology, so yes, we are doing exactly what you said. We're empowering pet parents to do it on their own, but we also see opportunities for businesses to leverage the technology that we're building as well.
Very nice.
Yeah. The number one, I absolutely love, when I reviewed your site, I was trying to figure out, honestly, what was the difference between you and the pet shippers as well as us and your company. But I love how you said it off the bat, which was something I said to Dr. Bryant, that you basically are the event planners for pet travel. And, everybody knows what an event planner is. It's just like you give your event planner your idea for what kind of event you want to have, what kind of party you want to have, and you let them work their magic. And that's basically what your company does. You are able to provide everything, including peace of mind for the pet parents. I believe the pet transport companies, they provide this service, even though they are, they provide this service in a means to get your animal in their shipping company to send them off. Because your company was not available, Dr. Bryant was not available, and so they took that on. I think it's great that there is the option to have the ultimate, jet pets or, any other pet transportation company, not only are you shipping my animal, but you can also take care of all of this regulated stuff, and I don't have to worry about the paperwork. Just tell me where to sign and what to get signed, and that'll be that.
Yeah. Excuse me,
No
I'm
matter.
sorry. I just popped up a question from Rochelle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got folks listening in and everything and chiming in. And I'm sorry, Greta, I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to make sure you know that I did that I popped it up there. And it didn't just pop up. But
I'll kind of answer both at once. So and I think that's a big differentiator is we're not pet shippers. We're not trying to be pet shippers. We're helping we're helping pet parents that are traveling with their pets, and we can put them in touch with pet shippers, but we're kind of like that trusted guide to help pet parents travel with their pets, as opposed to shipping the pets for them. And so we actually see, as I was saying, with our technology, we actually see pet shippers or transporters as potentially also our clients, because they can leverage our technology to help provide more up-to-date services. And to answer your question, I'm not sure if it's Rachel or Rochelle. I do apologize. Rochelle. And yes, Rochelle, we do have up-to-date. So the way our technology works is we are actually checking to having up-to-date, our websites constantly refreshes government regulation. So we have up-to-date information updated monthly.
Perfect. Thank you.
And, I wanted to also say that so many individuals, they like to do things themselves, whether it's because they like to be hands-on or whether it's because they want to know what is about to happen. You are at least providing, a safe opportunity for people to work with someone who can help guide them, because there's a lot of old, outdated, antiquated things that people can find on Google, and no one will know if they are old.
Right.
And so that's why I always try to say it's best for you to really go with someone who is in the industry, and rely on their expertise. So I'm so glad that you offer this for pet parents as a great resource, because like you said, a lot of times it's so undaunting. People don't realize it's not as simple as, oh, I can make the doctor's appointment next week, get the paperwork signed because we're leaving, the week after that or that same week. It doesn't work that way.
Well, I think what you have, Marisa, though, again, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people do it on their own, and one of them also, too, we have the reality is sometimes it's expensive. It's really expensive sometimes to use these pet shippers. So they want to do it themselves, and they need a trusted resource to find out information. And that's good that you're available to do that, because, again, there's a lot of folks that want to do it, well, can't afford to do it with
exactly.
They can't afford it. And it's not that they don't care. It's just, I can't afford that.
Yeah. And then that's one of our considerations as well. And the other big thing is, we're also really building a community space, which I'm really excited about. We've had a really amazing, because we call them our founding members, engaged community who've enjoyed us and who've joined us early and helped us shape our product roadmap. But we're also rolling out, we're building out a lot of strategic partnerships, because the service, we're kind of trying to be that trusted guide to help make your move stress-free. So as part of that, we're partnering. We're rolling out a map view soon with the ability to connect with other users via forum or DM, because as I'm sure you're well aware, people now are typically frantically asking questions in different Facebook groups. And then we're building out trusted, vetted resources in different locations and around the world. So when you come to us, and you're a Paws Abroad member, you'll have ability to connect with other users, ask questions, and also okay, so I'm moving. My dogs and I, as I mentioned earlier, are in Lisbon right now. I'm moving to Lisbon, so I know which groomer to go to. I know which vet to go to. I know which restaurants are pet friendly. So we're really building out that community space because, and working with trusted partners in the space. So, our big goal is to help people, live this international life with their dogs and make it more stress-free, and cats obviously as well.
Let's see, with Paws Abroad, can you tell us how the travel planner works?
Yeah, so you create your pet's passport, which is their passport, and that'll save in your account. And then from there, so you enter all of their information and you create your travel plan. We also just released a really cool a plan mode. So if you're trying to figure out, you're not sure what destination you want to go to and you want to toggle and see the pet policies for different countries, you can actually do that now. So we have, and that was the feedback directly from our users for people that were still in exploratory travel space. So we have that rolled out now. And then when you're ready to travel, you enter your pet's measurements, every detail about unique to your pet, and then you'll get all recommendations for crate training them. You'll get basically timelines and checklists with calendar and SMS integrations. You'll get, so if I'm traveling to Thailand, I need to submit my documents to the quarantine office. So you'll have like the ability to upload your PDF with us and have the contact details for the quarantine office. So we're really trying to allow you to check things off in easy to follow steps. And then we've got an info hub with detailed breakdowns, even if you're doing a layover somewhere, what the policy would be on that layover if you're going from point A to point B.
That's perfect. Question for you. Do you have the ability to determine, like based upon the breed? Because as you know, for dogs and actually some cats too, there's restrictions in certain countries on the breed. Do you pick up on that as well?
That is in part of our travel plan. We just released a ton of new updates. So we have that. The two big ones, those were two of our biggest requests, was the layover information. Like, for example, a country like Singapore, if you're just transiting, you still need to get a license, and a lot of people were unaware of that. And then the other big one that was coming up for us was the breed question, because there are a lot of airlines and countries that have restrictions on breeds. And so, yes, we've recently updated the travel planner to include that as well.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah.
So I know you're updating now, but how do you stay on top of the updates? Is it just a manual entry, or do you have something with AI that's roaming the world to pick up on the news?
We have specific vetted websites that, the way our technology works, without giving away all our trade secrets, we've got a strategic list of all of the vetted resources, because we don't want the web being crawled for random Google sources, as you're well aware, because there's a lot of information out there. And we update through our technology. It's not a manual process. It's updated monthly, basically, for any up-to-date, any government changes and things like that.
Okay. Do you also provide like health updates? Like if there is an outbreak in a certain area, do you have like news flashes like that and stuff like that?
No, we haven't actually built in news flashes, but I do think that's an interesting thing to consider for sure.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, my thing scrolled too far. Here we go. Okay. What trends are you seeing in global pet travel, and how are the airlines or governments changing their regulations?
So I think, the big one obviously is we're seeing with the humanization of pets is, myself included, obviously, like people want to bring their pets around, right? And want to have them with them on their journey. So, my little schnauzer that I healed, ate her health 8 years ago. She's now 14 years old. And so to be able to, travel the world with her, and like in Lisbon is a particularly, by the way, pet friendly place, and I'm absolutely loving it. So one of the things I was really impressed with in terms of trends. Like one of the things that blew me away when I got into the Lisbon airport is they have a full pet bathroom, not just a small, like the Toronto airport, like a small relief center. They have like, you go inside and it's a full bathroom for like with like a massive pet relief area. And if there's, what would better sign to show like how they're trying to be properly pet friendly?
Yeah. Let me please, if you see it again, take pictures and send it to me. I would love to see it.
I have a video.
I would love to see it. I was surprised. I just traveled through Madrid a couple weeks back, and I was so shocked in the airport that they had a pet play area.
I love that.
Can you believe that? I was just like, I cannot believe it's a play area. I mean, it was like little obstacles, little things they can go around and play. And this is inside the airport.
I love this. This is awesome. Yeah,
that's a great idea because it keeps the dog or maybe even a cat calm, because they're not just sitting there and hearing and seeing all the people, but they're being distracted by having something to do.
And we're saying you can, particularly for dogs, you can exercise them and get them tired out, go for a potty break, get a little snack, maybe something, a little treat, and they can go to sleep on the flight. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's another thing that I'm, aside from really helping with this, our main pain point is helping with the paperwork and logistics. It's so confusing. I'm also so excited by the partner network that we're building out and to help people know about these cool resources, like Lisbon, that, oh my gosh, because it's peace of mind knowing what to expect when you move to a new place as well. Right. One of the things, just on a side note, that I absolutely love here, I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm so glad I moved here, is, in Canada for health and safety regulations, you can't typically bring dogs inside restaurants or grocery stores. Here, they're like, come on in. Most restaurants are happy to welcome your dogs indoors. Same for I can bring them grocery shopping. I don't need to leave them outside. And I just love that because, my two dogs are such a big part of my life, obviously. And I love that I can just, it's the norm here to bring them around in that way.
Mm-hmm. What part of Canada are you in?
I'm in Lisbon, in Portugal.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm Canadian, but yeah, I was talking about Lisbon. I'm based in Lisbon. Paws Abroad actually got accepted to the Unicorn Factory Lisboa. I'm actually in their office right now, which is an incubator in Europe. That's won a few awards, and I'm here growing because we're growing in Europe and North America and Asia as well. So I'm in kind of a centralized location to grow the brand as well.
Nice. That's fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah. Especially on all the countries you're in, 14. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool that my dogs are the test case for the traveling as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, how can pet parents best prepare to avoid the stress and costs of last minute issues at the airport?
A few things, and I'm sure Dr. Bryant can, we were just talking about this before the call. In terms of stress, one of the biggest things, like we were just discussing, is especially if your dog is traveling in cargo, is prepping them as far in advance for the travel as possible. And that means positive reinforcement with the crate training, getting them used to that space, giving them treats in there every day. What I do with my dog Harley when she's traveling in cargo, I'll start with throwing treats in there, letting her sniff around, not forcing it, and then gradually working up to her having a bone in there. And she'll get to the point of going and taking the bone in herself and chewing it in there. And on the travel day, making sure that you're checking the export regulations is a big one. A lot of people kind of miss or are unaware of the fact that most countries need a government endorsement for your health certificate. So that's another big thing that can go wrong. And that's usually timing, like in Canada and I believe the USDA, off the top of my head, it's within 10 days of travel. Thailand, when you're leaving Thailand, it's 5 days. So just being aware of what the leaving the, it's not just the country you're going to, it's also being aware of the export requirements as well. And prepping your pets for travel days. So not feeding them too close in advance of the travel. You don't want to deal with an upset stomach for the trip. Making sure that if you have dogs in particular, that they're getting a good amount of exercise that day, so they're well rested and not rambunctious for the flight. I always recommend too with cargo, sleep in a shirt for a week or so, or maybe not a week, that might be a little too excessive, but a few days, so you've got your scent on there. And then so in putting that in the crate with your dog, so then they have your scent for reassurance. So these are all things that you can do. And to plug Paws Abroad again, we have detailed like checklists and recommended timing, so you're able to basically tick off each step, getting you ready up until travel day.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Another thing that could do too, another thing that can help is relax them inside as far as scents. There's Adaptil, which is a pheromone type spray that can help. Adaptil is usually used for dogs, and Feel Away is what's used for cats. But it's supposed to be like maternal pheromone type scent that relaxes them. You just want them to be relaxed inside their carrier and everything.
100%.
Yeah.
Right. Crate training. Just to go back a little bit, how much time, at the very least, do you recommend that your pet has crate training? Do you think people should start like 3 to 6 months before the day of travel, or?
I would say, Dr. Bryant would probably agree with me. I'd say the sooner the better would be my recommendation. I would say minimum 6 weeks to prep them for crate training.
Yeah, and you have to remember also it's going to vary by the animal period in general. But I would imagine cats is going to take longer, because you know how it is. You put out a carrier for a cat and they run because they know last time I was in that carrier, I had to go to the veterinarian or the groomer, or I traveled and I didn't like it. I really think ideally, I know, especially for dogs, I know we crate train them for a certain period of time, and once they're house trained and all that stuff, majority of the time the crate gets put in the garage somewhere where and everything. Then you bring it back out when it's time to travel. I think ideally these crates or containers, some confinement should probably be out all the time, so they're familiar with that being their daily space. And again, especially for cats, it's your space. That's your space, and they feel safe in it. So when you do travel, it's not a big deal.
Exactly.
Well, I was just going to say, correct you with the cats. What I was going to recommend. So Marisa, so you know, I'm the resident cat expert on the panel.
I'm trying to be more centric in my language too. I love cats as well. I do love you and cats as well.
Absolutely. But what I was going to recommend is, cats love enclosed spaces. So if cat parents leave their crates just in a room with them, or like if it's their office, if it's their bedroom, and just let them go in there, they'll find that their cat will sleep or spend a lot of time in there. And so, because they know that's their safe space. And that's what it's all about with the crates, is for cats and dogs, or any animal, birds as well. It's about creating that safe environment for your pet, so they know when they go in there, nothing will hurt them. And like you both were saying, pheromones, the shirt with your scent. I actually put freshly washed blankets, because my cats, they love fresh. I don't know why. They love fresh laundry. So like I do laundry, they are in the basket as soon as it's done.
My little schnauzer, I say she's the rescue who's healthy heal. She's so bougie. She loves being cozy. So she'll find the coziest spot. The laundry pile is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely was going to recommend what you had said, Dr. Bryant.
Good.
Cats in particular. Good. And then the other thing I wanted to ask is, so you mentioned not feeding too close to the time for travel, if I heard you correctly. Yeah. So would you recommend at least 3 to 4 hours before you head to the airport, stop feeding them and stuff like that?
Yeah, typically I recommend not feeding them for 4 hours before. And so I have interesting, this is one of the things, so I'm actually a certified canine nutritionist. I don't know if I told you that, Dr. Bryant, but that was from doing my first company. And so this is something I really think, and in terms of preparing for travel day, thinking about what your pet is going to have as soon as they arrive as well for dieting consistency. So I am big on the whole food space for dogs personally. What I recommend is bring a bag of freeze-dried raw food with you, because that's the next best thing. So when you're moving to a new place, like if you just need something to transition for upon arrival, that's typically so you could maintain your dog's healthy diet along the way until you can get them. I mean, I personally cook for my dogs. So they're living the Mediterranean diet with their sardines and fresh food and things. But that's just something to consider is but that's what we're building into our platform. You know, we will have recommended resources for pet shops and also vetted healthy pet food brands, because the wellness and health space is also really near and dear to my heart.
I love it, Marisa, because I don't know if you're aware, we've had Megan Sprinkle, Dr. Sprinkle on with us. She's a veterinary nutritionist. We talk nutrition because, again, that's another feature that people don't think about when they're traveling with their pet.
Yeah.
You know, we don't think about it because, hey, I'm going to go eat at some restaurant and I'm not worried about what I'm eating. But your pet can't do that. You can't feed them the same things. And if the worst time for them to have a digestive upset, having vomiting or diarrhea is during travel, because then now you potentially will need veterinary care for them.
Yeah.
So there's consistency that's needed prior, during, and after as far as their diet. And that's something to consider.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So,
is there a particular brand that you recommend, or are you just saying overall, grab freeze-dried food?
Yeah, I mean, I could go on. I could literally talk for hours about reading pet food ingredient lists and what I can tell you. And not, you want to look for something with no meals, no preservatives in there. You want to look for something that's like predominantly whole proteins in there, and then looking for things like that are a win, or are ingredients like smaller amounts of sweet potato or kale or blueberries, or turmeric is another favorite of mine. So, looking for something, a clean label that you would be comfortable with yourself. We used to with my first brand, because we got into a premium grocery store because we were all human grade food. And I actually, as a marketing thing one time, I persuaded several humans to try our food to show it was good enough you could eat. So so like I said, I'm a big proponent for the whole food space, but to tide you over in the interim, freeze-dried raw is a healthy option to get you from point A to point B.
Yeah, we've done several episodes about nutrition, about food to take during travel. And we have mentioned freeze-dried so many times, as well as other things to do, like even with tips on getting their own food to where it needs to be, and different services that can be provided and stuff like that. So, because as Dr. Bryant mentioned, this is something that definitely needs to be planned for, and is probably the number one thing that tanks the dogs, especially the dogs, but the dogs and cats experience in traveling, is not being prepared and not having what they need when they get to the destination.
Yeah, that's why I think it's really exciting I'm really excited where we're going with the community features that we're building out, and having that map view and trusted resources in different locations, because it's so important that, that's why we are solving, I think that, we're kind of answering the what's next for Paws Abroad through this is, we're solving this major pain point of getting you from point A to point B, but we're building out, and this is great, we're building a network of other brands and people that we trust in the space, which I'm really excited about. So we really want to be like your community space to help you get from point A to point B, but to stay with us and grow, to connect with other pet users and be that trusted space you can go for guidance, to get set up and find the resources that you need to get all set up in your new place as well.
We've got another question from Rochelle. We're going to pop it up.
Sure.
So typically that goes back to why I recommended the freeze-dried raw, because that's why I wouldn't recommend bringing fresh food along with you for that reason. So that was why, you know, looking for something that like a low preservative, low additive, dry food just for travel purposes.
Yeah. And you know, something that you have to just a thought too, those situations that's happened months ago, was it, Greta, where folks were stuck in the airport and they're stuck there, and if they had pets, what were they going to do for food? And at the time, if you're traveling in a cabin with your pet, you're thinking you're going to get to your destination, but if there's a delay and it's significant and you didn't plan for it, what are you going to do for your pet as far as eating? Because who knows, it might be a flight the next day and you're stuck in the airport. What are you going to do? So planning, just be prepared is important.
100%.
Well, to answer Rochelle's question, also myself. So yes, Rochelle, we have talked several times about the pet parents bringing the freeze-dried food because it's nutritious and all that good stuff. But as far as different ways, I think is what you were asking as well. Let's see, there was a company that we had found that could take your specific diet that you have at home. You can get that and then have it shipped to the destination. Also, in the same thing, if you didn't want to use that particular shipper, you could order through the different stores. See if your food is in that location at that store so that you can go pick it up or have it shipped, even doing like a DoorDash delivery of it. Mm-hmm. And then, but we were basically telling people to do the research first because you can't really, the airlines will let you bring some foods. We did bring that up. We even provided a chart that said how many cans you could bring, and as well as the kibble that being put in pouches. So we did bring that up earlier. I forgot, I don't remember offhand, but we've answered like a whole bunch of different ways of how pet parents can bring food with them. But as we all know, that's interim food until they get to their destination. So, and that's why we said, make sure you have, especially if you're gone for a period of time, have it shipped to your location so it's there, and the people, your pet has it to keep so that they continue their nutrition on the regular basis. But in the meantime, something that does not upset the stomach so much is the freeze-dried food, because it's good human grade food that your dogs like.
Yeah, and I do understand her questions as far as, you guys know, certain food items are not allowed. I mean, mm-hmm. You might go through something simple as, I remember going to Hawaii, I was surprised. There's certain things you just can't bring back and forth with Hawaii, and of course, even internationally. Right. When you go through customs and you see the dog sniffing, I mean, I know in Atlanta, there's dogs that actually sniff for products. I mean, food sources. They are detecting different food items. So there are certain things that will be allowed or not to be transported. This is if you're packing stuff in your bag to travel with you. So be mindful of that there are restrictions out there. And I would say, if anything, with Marisa, just a thought for you, Marisa, have you guys maybe integrated some potential of what food items are allowed into particular countries? That might be something.
Yeah, 100%. We haven't integrated that yet, but as for having this conversation, I think that definitely is useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, typically it's the fruits and vegetables that are not allowed into countries because of the bugs that they can bring into that new country. That country may not be it may be, let's say fruit fly free, and then here we go bringing in our bananas, and now they got all kinds of fruit flies going on.
I agree with you there. And there's also sometimes food items. There's cheeses, there's certain meats and everything that they that potentially could, that's not, if it's not cured or not processed or cooked fully, they can take it from you because it could have potential worms or tapeworms or something, parasites inside of it. So there are some restrictions as far as the foods that we do bring in out of the countries or different countries. And again, Marisa, maybe that's something that can, just to remind people of that are packing the food for the pet moving forward and knowing what is allowed and what's not allowed.
Yes, 100%.
Guys, we got another question. Let's see, from Michelle.
Real quick, Marisa, just to let you know, because we had posted it, TSA actually has a list of what, from a pet standpoint, what is and is not allowed, and food items are on that list, because we went over it a couple of Facebook Lives ago. So we definitely mentioned it, and you guys.
Yeah.
With your people.
Yeah, it is something, actually, to be honest, if you were in our newsletter, you would be privy to know the information that Greta developed in reference to that. But there are specific things that TSA will say, yes, you can bring or you can't bring as far as related to pet items. Yeah. Yep. So she's saying giving
to as a, no, that's great feedback to add that in there in terms of
giving people the food and bedding items not allowed would be very helpful for people shipping animals. Yes. That's so true, because
you put recommendations. Yeah, we put recommendations in terms of what to have, but I think to include what not to have in there, that's great idea. Yeah. Thank you.
There's actually, it's interesting. There's what is it? I believe it's for foot and mouth disease. There's a disease that potentially that dogs get exposed to if they're on the countryside around cattle, and foot and mouth disease. Say if it's prevalent in that country, and the bedding or something that the animal is exposed to, there's worries about dogs being the potential source of bringing it back to the U.S. So there's some requirements that they must be bathed. The bedding cannot be straw and all these things there. So there's things for people to consider and understand that when you're, and again, the straw, say if you put it in their crate, if they're going by cargo, so that's, of course, it would be in cabin. But again, there are restrictions in place as far as the bedding materials and items that we need to be aware of. Definitely need to be aware.
So is foot and mouth disease, is that that's, there's a saying that says, don't put your foot in your mouth. Is that
no?
So are the animals the cause of?
No, dogs aren't the cause of it. It's something inherent within cattle and sheep, I believe. The lesions show up in their hooves and in their mouth. You'll see lesions in reference to it. It's really it's a foreign animal disease. We don't have it here in the U.S. and we don't want it. It will devastate our agriculture industry. So it's something to be concerned about coming here. So, but just being aware of that would be good.
Well, I am just so super excited about Paws Abroad coming out into the world. Dr. Bryant, do you have any last minute questions for Marisa?
I am excited to finally get a chance to meet with you and bring you on this platform for you to share your experiences of what you're doing with Paws Abroad. So I'm thankful you're here. So I'm glad to meet you, and I'm hoping we can continue this connection.
100%. Yeah, it will be great to meet in person at some point. Hopefully you can meet Harley and Linda, the travelers. But I'm really grateful to both of you for having me on the show, and really enjoyed the conversation.
Marisa, is there any last things you want to mention?
So, we're offering to your audience, if you want to pull the that poster up again, a discount code for any of your audience members off our services. So this is for our travel planner or our personalized services. So you can use the codes PETSFLY for 15% off either our concierge or travel plan services. And yeah, check us out at pawsabroad.co. We've got a great ebook filled with really helpful tips, including crate training tips as well, and travel planning tips on different areas that you can download. And always happy to answer any questions if you reach out direct as well.
Fantastic. I also want to share with everyone that in addition to learning more about Paws Abroad on their website, you can follow them on social media, which is they have presence on Instagram and LinkedIn, as well as Facebook. And I don't know why Facebook gives you this crazy number sometimes instead of the.
So funny. Yeah.
You can find her.
Yeah, you can find us, pawsabroad.co.
Very good. Well, I'm so happy you were here, Marisa, and we finally got a chance to really have this good conversation on this platform.
That was so nice.
Very, very good. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Greta, are you going to lead us out, or are you frozen? I think she's frozen. We thank everyone for joining us today. Join us again next week. We'll have another Facebook Live with you. And just honestly, thank you for joining us today. Bye-bye.